Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be making the best chocolate cake. So to get started, you want to grease 4 6-inch cake tins with some soft butter, and you want to dust it with some plain flour. This will help prevent your cakes from sticking to their tins. Then place a cutout circle of baking parchment onto the bottom of your cake tin. To make the cake batter, you want to start by mixing your dry ingredients. Start by adding 300 grams of plain flour, 50 grams of cocoa powder, 1 teaspoon of bicarbonate soda and 1 teaspoon of malt powder. Sift the ingredients in your bowl to prevent any lumps in your batter. Then add 150 grams of caster sugar and 150 grams of brown sugar. Keep mixing until all the ingredients are lovely and combined. In a saucepan, you want to add 150 ml of milk, and you want to bring it up just until the milk is warm. You don't want to simmer it or bring it to the boil. Then add 1 tablespoon of coffee powder to your milk, give it a good stir and set aside for later. Now in a separate bowl, we're going to add the wet ingredients. Start by adding 200 ml of vegetable oil, 250 ml of buttermilk, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Then you want to pour in your milk coffee mixture, adding 3 eggs, one at a time, making sure no shell goes in there. Give the liquids a good mix, then you want to pour it into your dry ingredients. Then mix your wet and your dry ingredients together until no lumps are found. Then spread your cake batter evenly into your 4 cake tins. I like to use a cup measurement for this. This just helps each cake have the right amount of batter inside, but it's totally up to you in case you want to do this. Now place your cake tins in a preheated oven at 180 degrees Celsius, and you want to put them in there for 25 to 30 minutes until you poke a skewer in the middle of your cake and it comes out lovely and clean. Then put a little knife around the edges of your cake tin and flip it over onto your cooling rack. Peel off the baking paper and leave on your cooling rack to cool down completely. Now it's time to make the chocolate fudge sauce, because what is a cake without chocolate fudge sauce? Start by adding 100 grams of golden syrup into your saucepan. I'd add it straight in because otherwise it's kind of hard to put in a bowl and put it into a saucepan. Then place your pot on the stove, adding 50 grams of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of butter, 150 ml of double cream and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Continue to stir on a low heat until the sugar dissolves and the butter melts. Now I took the stove off the heat for this, but please keep it on, that was my mistake. So please keep it on the stove for this bit. Anyway, you want to add 35 grams of chocolate chips or just chopped up dark chocolate into your mix, give it a good stir, then bring it back up to the heat and you want to stir until the chocolate melts. Making sure the heat is on low because you don't want the chocolate to burn. Then take it off the stove, adding a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Then you want to sift in 3 tablespoons of cocoa powder and 1 tablespoon of malt powder. The malt powder will add another level of flavour to your sauce, so I highly recommend adding it. Then mix the ingredients all together until it's lovely and combined. Pour in a container and set aside in the fridge for later. I also made some chocolate shards by melting and tempering some chocolate. If you want the recipe for this, please leave a comment down below. To make the buttercream icing, start by adding 150 grams of soft butter and 100 grams of cream cheese. Pour in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and continue to mix until the mixture is lovely and smooth. Then sift in 500 grams of icing sugar, adding it in 2 stages. Then sift in 40 grams of cocoa powder and 1 tablespoon of malt powder. Now I also like to add 3 tablespoons of the chocolate fudge sauce we made. It's totally optional, it's just something I like to do. I also added milk to this, around 6 tablespoons, but I forgot to show it on camera. Now before you decorate, I just like to trim the cake just to make it even and flat, and you can also eat the trimmings. To make the sugar syrup for our cake, start by adding 75 grams of sugar and water into a saucepan, along with a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Put it on the stove, give it a good stir and leave to simmer until the sugar dissolves. Then take it off the stove. Now you're going to need a turntable and a cake board to decorate your cake. It just makes it so much easier. I like to add a bit of the buttercream to my turntable. It just helps my cake board stick easily, and I also add the icing to the turntable as well because it helps the cake stick to the board and not float around everywhere. Start by adding your cake to your turntable and adding some of that sugar syrup we made, the buttercream, spreading it out evenly onto your cake. Then add a spoonful of the chocolate fudge sauce. And repeat this step with all your other cake layers. I also like to use a piping bag to spread out the frosting for the sides. You don't have to do that, it's totally optional, but I just find it makes it easier. Remember, the sides don't have to be perfect because we are going to be adding some chocolate shards to the sides. For this bit, I like to get myself a tray and put the cake on top of the tray and add your chocolate shards so that when they fall, they can just go on top of the tray and it just saves a lot of washing up. Now I also made some chocolate ganache for the top by adding some chocolate and some cream, melting it in the microwave, mix in 20 seconds. Then I added some more buttercream, making some decorations like a spiral effect with the spoon, and then I added my chocolate ganache to it, and that is the finished product. I hope you enjoy. Thanks for coming to my channel. Please like and subscribe, and take care.